Chris Walker, your security doctor, back again for another exciting seasonal SecBytes session. And today we're going to ask the question, how can you build a catalog item in the security incident catalog? Anybody have the answer? If not, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to do this in five easy steps to achieve a custom catalog item within the security incident catalog. So let's go ahead and get after it. Now, of course, when we think about catalog items actually exist everywhere, personal and professional life. Cataloging our DVDs, if you still have those, our CDs, our VHS tapes, how you categorize those become records. And those records can be cataloged through a series of different ways you produce those particular entities. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the agenda. First and foremost, what is a security incident catalog? I need to know this, Chris. It's very important to the success of this overall demonstration. Second, record producer versus catalog item. There's a difference. We'll talk about it. Last but not least, let's build it. 5 easy steps. Before we get into the fun side, I did have one quick joke. How did the Beaver configure his ServiceNow instance? He just logged in. Get it? I'll stick to my J job. All right, welcome back. We are in my instance. Our second topic of agenda was understanding what a security incident catalog is. And really, it's just a series of items to request or submit various types of security-focused categories, as shown here on my screen. It's very similar to when we add items to our Amazon Prime shopping cart. I'm guilty for that. I've got about 15 items in there. But this is how we build off of the category builder. And then we can produce a series of actions to fulfill those requests or submissions. Next, let's talk about the record producer, which is a specific type of catalog item that allows end users to create task-based records, such as an incident record, versus a catalog item, which in this case is just a way to publish a service to your users. You can add a description, images, and maybe even a workflow to determine the approval or chain of command to fulfill those processes for those catalog items. All right, let's get building. This is the exciting part of the entire SecBytes demonstration. So for today's demonstration, we are going to be focusing on creating the record, the catalog item with its category, as well as producing a security incident record from that submission. So let's go ahead and get right after it. First and foremost, we need to create that record. So you guessed it, we're going to type in record producers. This is going to now give us the opportunity to create that new record producer. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, we have the new button. When you click that, it's going to generate this form. Now there's a couple of different things that need to be filled out. I'm going to walk you step by step. This is step one. Going through the actual form, making sure we have everything selected and populated before we move into adding our image and our descriptions, and then of course testing out the final end result. So first and foremost, we need to fill out the name. In this case, I've used privacy escalation as that naming convention. We also need to select the right table. Because we're generating a security incident from that user submission, we need to make sure that we're associating it with the right table. So I've gone ahead and scoped that out as well. Now, once we've filled out everything, at the bottom, you'll have a submit button. You guessed it, it'll submit it, save it. Now it's committed. And now we're going to go into step 3, which will allow us to add our variables or our questions. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So as the beginning, step 1, let's create the record. Step 2, make sure we filled out all these appropriate fields. So I'm going to walk you through those steps. Step 2 is going to make sure that we have filled out not only our short description, but if there is a description we'd like to add in here, maybe some images, knowledge base articles, links, internal resources, maybe a video. There are a lot of different opportunities for your catalog builders or your analysts to actually go through and produce this information. But what's most important is making sure that we have associated the catalog as well as the category. Now, to do so, all you need to do is select that specific catalog. You can use the lookup list. You'll see a series of different catalogs. The security incident catalog is already there because again, it is out of the box, which is amazing. And then the second part is to associate your category. So all you're going to do is select your lookup list. You'll see existing categories. Now, if you don't see one that really fits this particular name, create one, which is what I did. So I went ahead and clicked my lookup list, and then I went ahead and selected new, and from there created my own category. So it's entirely up to you on what you want to do there. for the purposes of this demo, I created a brand new category so I could showcase that. Now, as we look down to the bottom, we see we have a couple of different options. These tabs are going to give us the ability to do a number of different series of actions. But most importantly, we're going to be talking about step 3, which is our variables. Now, variables come in many flavors. When we mix those flavors, we present the customer with a series of questions or options. My favorite flavor, by the way, is chocolate chip. Would love to know what yours is. Put it in the comments below if you want. In any case, back to variables. We have a couple of different questions here that we can predefine, or we can define ourselves. So there's a lot of different types that are available out of the box. I'm going to show you very quickly what that looks like. Again, we want to make sure that we keep this video a little more condensed, but I'm going to show you what that new variable record will look like. Here we have it. This is our different types that we can use. So we could prompt questions like yes or no. We could do a select box, maybe the requested for, so we have that field populated there. We could do maybe a custom with a label. There's a number of different things, or simply adding an attachment, right? That could be an option on our form. So there's a lot of different things that you can do in here. I will provide links in the description so you can see the terminology and the definition of what those will actually entail. And then of course you can enter in what the question is that you're prompting to the end user. So that way they'll know exactly how to fill out this particular submission. Now that we have that all set up, everything looks good, perfect. Of course, we need to go ahead and save this record. And we've saved our record. Everything is up to date. Perfect. Step 4 is adding an image. Now to do that, we want to go ahead and look at the specific catalog item in our categories. So here I'm in my categories. I'm going to go to the privacy incident category that I've created, and notice it brings me to the category section. So now this is where I can actually add in any additional descriptions I'd like when I click into the specific catalog item. And then of course, I also want to add maybe a nice little image, right? So we would add it to the desktop image. And just as an FAQ, a lot of questions asked, what's the resolution? 100 by 100 seems to play very nicely within my instance. That is what I suggest. Everything else should be left by default for the widget, and I will explain that at the end. But this would be step 4. Making sure we have an image, look at the description, and everything else looks good here. Perfect. So now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and save this category record. So that looks good. Now, step 5, let's add it and then generate that security incident record. So we're going to go back into our catalog, and that's simply by typing in catalog here. Security incident catalog is populated. You'll notice it's not here. Where is it? Privacy escalation. Looking for you. Up here in the upper right hand corner is the add content button. This is where I can add that additional widget. When I click on this, now you'll notice privacy incident is a catalog option. And I'm going to go ahead and select the default category details because I want my end users to know what this is about when they're submitting this particular issue. So I'm going to add it over to the right hand side. And you'll notice it's perfect. The uniformity, the consistency, all the angles, everything looks smooth, looks great. And we're done. That was step 5. Super simple, super easy. Now, when we go into the actual privacy incident, we can see here, we have our privacy escalation. When we click into that, we can see all the information is being populated and pulled in because we've conditioned it that way through the variables. So there's a lot of different ways you can maneuver and manipulate this, entirely up to you on how you build this out. But this is a great use case example to show you how you can start to categorize and also ask for user input, right? Describing the current issues, what's my level of prioritization, and then of course, attaching any screenshots. So I'm going to go ahead and just put in some test text here, and I'm going to go ahead and also add a attachment. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And you'll notice that once that's done, I now get a message indicating that the security incident department is contacted, and we have our business impact, and we see our security incident record has been successfully not only created and generated, but assigned to Waldo. And with that, thank you so much for allowing me to do what I love to do. I hope to see you very soon. Stay tuned for more content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, add any comments or questions you might have. As always, stay safe.